Good afternoon, everybody. And on behalf of Oasis Travel, Alison and I would like to say hello to you all and to say welcome to the very last presentation on our cruise fair. So thanks to the hundreds of people who have joined us over the weekend, and we have something very special for you now. We're very excited to see that cruising is starting to get back and that some of the river cruise ships are sailing. And we look forward to ocean cruising starting, we hope, at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year. But certainly a lot of the protocols and health and safety measures are in place for a return to cruising. Just after the presentation, you will have an opportunity to ask questions. So you can type a question into your Zoom button and we will answer those after the presentation. And there will, of course, be the opportunity to win a lovely prize. So please make sure that you listen, and we'll be asking a question at the end. But we have something completely different for you, because over the last couple of days, we've been looking at yachts and expedition cruising and ocean cruising. And now we're on to a sailing holiday. So for those of you who are looking for something completely different, Tradewind Voyages have built the world's biggest sailing ship. And I know that Brian from the office is very keen. I hope, Brian, you've tuned in this afternoon, because this is something that I know that you have loved and you've done several times before, and you're always raving about it. And I can remember a few years ago meeting Brian for lunch on board one of these sailing ships in Turkey, and I was just so impressed with it. It was absolutely gorgeous. But this is right up your street, and I know that some of our people that are joining us this afternoon have also been on this type of sailing holiday before. So I'd like to now introduce Rachel.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rachel Healy, and I head up the business development for Tradewind Voyages. And I'm pleased to be coming to you from the decks of the Golden Horizon. I wish that were true. Our beautiful ship is currently in Croatia, where we are starting to put some more touches to her as we get her ready for sail for next year. Unfortunately, due to this pandemic that we are all experiencing, we're unable to get out to Croatia, where she is at the moment, to get the pictures that we want. So my apologies that we don't have all of the right pictures and videos for you at this time, but as we move forward, we will have more to share with you. So I'm delighted to be working with the team at Oasis Travel. Not only are they absolute experts in cruise, but they're hugely passionate about what they do and who they work with. So we are thrilled to have them as key partners for us as we go forward. So what I'd like to do, and you'll have to excuse the amateur putting together of this, but like many people, I'm working from home. My technical and visual abilities are not fantastic, so let's see how we go. I'm going to talk you through a presentation of Tradewind Voyages and Golden Horizon, and finish off with a video of her. And then any questions that you have, you can field to the team at Oasis Travel, and they can work with me to answer anything that you have. So bear with me 1 second, and I will switch over to video mode. Okay, so here we are, and the presentation. So Tradewind Voyages, we are a brand new company, born at the beginning of this year. I think who knew when we first started that we would be facing the challenges that we are. But we are hugely excited, and we're hugely optimistic about the future, and really, really delighted to be bringing this brand new ship to you. So I'm going to talk you through what we're doing, where we're going, and just some points of difference that make us just a little bit different from the rest. So we bring to you the largest sailing ship in the world, and we're hugely proud of our ship. And I'm so delighted to be part of the team that are bringing this to the UK. So she is a brand new ship. And I say I'm part of a team of 16 based out of an office in Suffolk, although I am talking to you from my kitchen in Windsor in Berkshire. So so a little bit of difference there, but like most people, working from home at the moment. So this is our beautiful, beautiful ship. We'll be bringing her on some more sea trials towards the end of this month, which means we will then be able to furnish Oasis Travel with some more images and some more video content. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about the ship. So she's a near replica of the 1913 built ocean vessel France II. It was originally built actually to ferry dry cargo around the world. But our cargo will be much more precious than that, and that'll be you, our guests. So she is a beautiful ship, and we really want to keep the look and the feel of her as a true sailing ship. So she'll have that feeling of romance and adventure that brings with it a ship of this magnitude. She's an ice class ship, for those of you in the know, and what that means quite simply for us is that she has a shallow draft, and that means that we're able to get her to little beaches and little islands and places that the bigger ships just simply can't get to. We have 140 cabins that we will be selling, and that's far fewer actually than are on board, because what we wanted to do was make sure that we were putting our guests in the very best that the ship has. So that means that we won't be selling any of the inside cabins. Every one of our guests will enjoy an outside cabin. And the maximum guest size will be 272, which gives us a crew to guest ratio of 1.7 to 1, which is pretty good. And just to let you know, we're already in planning and building stages of our next ship. We're going to have another 3 ships out in the seas by 2027. We hope the next one will be out in 2023, and she will be larger, but in fact will be even less guests. We will be increasing the size of the cabins. So that's something to look forward to, and also to let you know that we are not just a one ship wonder. We're going to be around for some time to come. I think a lot of the things on people's minds at the moment when it comes to travel is how safe are we going to be, how many people are going to be around. We're very fortunate that we already have very expansive decks, and we have the sort of ship and doing the sort of itineraries that are really going to drive our guests out onto the decks to see what's going on and really get involved. So we don't imagine you're going to want to spend too much time in your beautiful cabins. But it's one of the things that we're already addressing is, you know, the amount of people on our ships, and also when it comes to shore excursions as well, the amount of people that we're going to be debarking anywhere. We're very fortunate. We only have a maximum guest size of 270. So by definition, we're going to be working in much smaller groups, so already we're going to be safer. This is the key thing that I want to share with you, and that's our sailing philosophy. And we very much believe that our voyages should be powered by nature and not by the engine. So our overall philosophy will be to be using the winds and the currents and following the sun that's going to take us on our amazing voyages, firstly around the British Isles and from the UK, and then as we go into our other journeys, we'll be sailing quite literally around the world. So our overall aim is to be sailing 70% of the time. So that means you will be enjoying the ship as she should be enjoyed by using the propulsion of the wind and the sails and not the engines. So that's something that we're very excited about, and we know is quite different from some of the other tall ships that you might find. So we begin our first voyages on the 1st of May 2021, which we're hugely excited about. And we've got 9 voyages that we're going to be operating from the UK. A couple of those are going to be travelling around the UK and through Ireland and Northern Ireland. We're going to have a circumnavigation of Iceland, and then we're going to have several trips in and around the Baltics, a couple of voyages around the fjords, and then a couple of really long voyages, 21-day voyages, one right up to Svalbard, the Arctic Circle, that will see us taking in the midnight sun, really. We'll be there through the 21st of June, the longest day next year. And the other 21-day voyage we have was right over to Russia, and time in St. Petersburg. And one of the highlights on that particular trip will be getting involved in one of the tall ship races that happens from Tallinn. So whilst we won't actually be competing, we will be there, so it'll be quite a sight for you to see the race that happens with the other tall ships around. So we have 9 different departures there, and Oasis Travel will have all of this information for you. So they'll have the full dates, the itineraries, and also the stop-offs and shore excursion information. So that will be operating between May and September next year, and we will then reposition our ship out to Split in Croatia, where she is currently living, and then she'll embark on her round the world journeys. So the first section of the journeys are going to take us in voyages of anything from between 7 to 16 nights around from Croatia, heading down. Quite excitingly, on her first voyage here, she's going to be heading through the Suez Canal, which I think is going to be really spectacular, really exciting for any of you that might choose to be on this voyage, before heading down the Red Sea and around to Oman. We're then going to cross over the Arabian Sea and head across down to India, coming around the bottom of India, down through Colombo, across the Bay of Bengal, and heading through to Thailand, and then down the coast of Malaysia, heading through Singapore, and then on to Indonesia. And then we'll be finishing this section of journeys right at the beginning of December, 2021. We then come to a really exciting part of the world. It's one of my favourite destinations, so we're really excited that we're going to have a full circumnavigation of Australia. So we're going to head out from Bali at the beginning of December and head across to Darwin, and then across the Torres Straits to finish up in Cairns. And then we embark on our Christmas and New Year cruise. So if you've ever wanted to spend Christmas and New Year in Australia, then this might be the way to do it. So we'll be leaving from Cairns on the 21st of December and spending Christmas out on the Whitsundays. So can you imagine spending Christmas, having your Christmas turkey whilst sitting alongside the Barrier Reef? I think it will be magical. We'll then continue our journey down the East Coast and spending New Year off the coast of Brisbane, along the Gold Coast, where you'll be able to enjoy the fireworks, and then continuing along down to Sydney. We then continue the circumnavigation from Sydney, following the East Coast, right the way down and circumnavigating Tasmania, before heading back up down to Melbourne, and then across from Melbourne to Adelaide. We then carry on from Adelaide across the Great Australian Bight, around South Australia. It's going to come around and finish in Perth, well actually Fremantle, just outside of Perth, before our final voyage from Fremantle, heading up Western Australia and heading towards the Komodo and Lombok, and back into Bali. And this will take us to February 2021. Again, all of these details we'll have with Oasis Travel, who can give you more information on the dates and the shore excursions and pricing. And then we come to quite an interesting part of our schedule, and this is going to be happening from February 2021. And these journeys, especially the first voyage here, we think would really, really appeal to those of you that are really interested in sailing and really want to experience our ship at her very, very best. So we'll be leaving from Bali, heading out to Christmas Island, and then you'll see this really long stretch across the Indian Ocean, across to Madagascar. This is going to be a 16-day voyage. And whilst it looks like there are no other stops, there will in fact be some stops every day. And this could mean stopping at these tiny, beautiful islands and spend some time there. We could even just stop the ship in the middle of the Indian Ocean, lower the marina at the back of the ship, and give you that opportunity to swim in the Indian Ocean with nobody else around, no other vessels, you just feeling like that you're the only person in the world. So there's some really exciting things that are going to happen around this area. The trip then goes from Mauritius actually across to Madagascar, and then from Madagascar up to Tanzania. So this could be perfect for anyone thinking of maybe doing a safari that you could do at the end of your voyage, or indeed you might do a safari at the beginning of your voyage and then jump on at Dar es Salaam, and this voyage then will take you back out into the Indian Ocean and around to the Seychelles. And then we have a really fun time of 6 or 7 days where we'll be using the ship quite simply as a floating hotel as she explores around the islands of the Seychelles. And then she'll begin her final couple of voyages on this section that'll take her back to the Maldives and into Colombo and Sri Lanka, and then finally coming back from Colombo down to Kuala Lumpur, and then finally back into Bali in Indonesia. And this will take us through to April 2021. We will then have the next set of voyages that will go on sale next year, but our plans after this, these haven't been set in stone yet, but just to give you an idea, we'll be heading out from Bali up through the Philippines, up to Japan, and then from Japan across the North Pacific into Alaska, and then coming down the west coast of the Americas. So from Alaska down west coast of Canada, and then the west coast of the United States, down through Mexico, through Central America, before finally hitting South America down to Santiago. And then she's going to head back across the South Pacific Islands, a circumnavigation of New Zealand before coming back into Australia. So we have lots of wonderful plans for Golden Horizon, and we'll be really delighted to share these with Oasis Travel as soon as we have them. So I just want to give you a little bit of information about life on board. As I say, I'm really sorry that I can't give you more images just at the moment, but just to highlight for you, one of the key things that we wanted to do, the ship wasn't originally commissioned for us, so our next ships will be designed slightly differently. One of the things that we were conscious of is that a lot of the tour ships don't offer an outside dining option for the evening time, and we really wanted to do this. So we will be utilising some of the facilities that we have during the day for evening. So we have a beautiful main dining room over 2 levels, which is on the interior, and then on the exterior we will be using one of our other bars and restaurants to be used for evening too. So so you will find that you can have your evening meal under the stars. We're going to have several places on board where you can relax with a drink, whether that be a cup of coffee in our library, or you may want to relax outside on the sun deck with a margarita or a cosmopolitan or whatever it is that takes your fancy. And then in the evening, maybe a drink before dinner at the piano bar, and maybe something after dinner at our premium champagne bar, which we've called Debiliak, which is after our owner. Our owner's a Croatian, and we figured how best to keep them happy, but let's name a bar after them. So we plan to have lots of things going on during the day, where the days where we have shore excursions, you'd want to get involved with those, and then the days when we're at sea, we'll have all sorts of things going on, whether that be our onboard speakers. So we'll have our resident speakers that will be able to talk to you about the ship. and anything to do with sailing and navigation. And then we'll have various expert speakers that we'll have on board that will be talking about a variety of things. Shore excursions, we'll have a full program of shore excursions for each of the ports that we'll be visiting, and you'll be able to select which of those you want to do. And then also on board we have the fabulous health and beauty area. So we have a beautiful spa which will offer nail treatments, as well as facials and massages, a hairdresser, and then also sauna and snow room. And then we will also have a lovely gym, fitness area, and 3 pools. So there's quite a lot going on board. So I'm just going to run you through a few more of the images. Again, I keep mentioning we haven't finished our soft furnishings yet. So we have a designer currently working on the interior of the ship to redesign the current furnishings in there, so it looks and feels like Tradewind Voyages, and we really want to elevate that to reflect where we are and what we represent. So this is the dining room, so the main dining room, but the picture doesn't really do it justice. I've seen some footage, video footage of this area, and it's just stunning. It's over 2 levels. And you know, we have all sorts of different seating plans, so you don't have to go and eat at a particular time. It will be free seating, free dining, so there'll be tables of 2, 4, 6, 8, and for any groups that we get on board, of course we'll make sure that there's seating arranged for you to all sit together. So this part of the ship we're going to be using as our library, and it's a really beautiful, really peaceful area to come and relax, whether you want to read your own book or take a book from the selection that we'll have. And then this is just a shot of the piano bar. So the piano bar overlooks the main dining area and is on the top in the middle of the ship. A quick glimpse at our spa area, so our sauna. So people keep asking me, what is a snow room? So a snow room, quite simply, is one of these cold rooms that you go into, and there is quite literally floating snow. So it's supposed to be great for circulation, that you alternate between the hot of the sauna and the cold of the snow room. So we'll let you know about that. So I mentioned earlier, we have a marina at the back of the ship, which is fantastic. We keep all of our water sports equipment there, and you can use that on the days when we're at sea, or sometimes when we're at port in certain places. And we have lots of things for you to try out, whether it be water skiing, knee boarding, taking out some snorkel gear, or maybe learning to dive. We'll have some opportunities for you to learn to dive when we're out on the Great Barrier Reef, for example. Socialising, I touched upon the bar areas and the coffee stations that we have. That's really going to be a big part of being on board with us, is the social elements. We're going to have a wonderful crew there that are going to be able to interact with you and talk to you about where you're visiting and where you're going, and help introduce you to other people on board. Incidentally, we are only selling at the moment through the sort of the UK and Ireland market. We may find a few Australians sneaking their way on, as we have had some talks with some agents in Australia, but essentially we imagine it's going to be 90% of our guests will come from the UK. There's a quick snapshot of our departures and some of our leading pricing. So you can see from this, if you can see from this, the leading price there we have is on one of our Norwegian fjord voyages, where the pricing is from $13.99 per person. And then just to go through what's included, so full board, all of your meals, your accommodation, entertainment, full Wi-Fi access, gratuities and service charges, the use of the gym, the marina, selected beer, wine with lunch and dinner in the main restaurant, and soft drinks throughout. So You'll see there's a lot included there. And we go on sale on the 2nd of November. So we're really excited about this, and we are going to be taking advance registration. So that's something you can talk with Oasis Travel about. So I want to thank you for your time, and I'm just going to leave you with a final video of our ship. And the music that you'll hear was actually especially composed for us, for our ship. So I'll leave you to watch this and enjoy, and I thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you very much indeed, Rachel. There has just been one or two questions. So Joyce wants to know, really likes the look of the Tradewind Voyage, and would like to know, can you bring your grandchild on board?
You can. Joyce, there is a minimum age of 8. So if your grandson is over 8, that's no problem, and we can help price that for you. And what a great memory and experience to do with multi-generations, which is becoming more popular actually, that generations of families are exploring together. So the answer is yes.
And very educational too, going into all those places.
Yeah.
And what it looks.
It's a Peter Pan type, you know, it's such an incredible, striking ship. It would definitely be any child's dream to certainly be on that ship.
And the fact that there's itineraries and it goes all over the world is just amazing. I could definitely see myself sitting on that, Alison. Charles is just asking, celebrating a special anniversary in 2022. Would you have any idea when 2022 is going to go on sale for this?
We will, yes, we will. 2nd of November is the date that it is on sale, and its itinerary is out for the whole of next year. We do have people registered, so if you're interested in 2022, if you'd like to call any of our offices, give them your details, we will follow up with you and let you know whenever 2022 is on sale. But certainly we're happy to go through and give you some examples of pricing and itineraries for next year, late next year, which will give you an idea.
We're just talking about pricing. I mean, I was astounded, and I know, Alison, you've been doing the pricing for the cruise show, but when I was looking at this, I was thinking, what, £3,000, £4,000, £5,000, but she mentioned
$13.99. Yeah, that's for a Norwegian Fjords experience.
That's amazing.
It is, and even some of their longer Western sort of Mediterranean and Adriatic, generally anything that I've had a glimpse of, they're all under £2,000, which is incredible for this very unique ship. And as Rachel pointed out, there is an awful lot included in your price. So one of her first sailings will be round the British Isles. Yes. So there will be a lot of press around that because she is going to call into Belfast. So hopefully we'll all get a chance to see her in her glory next year.
Well, it's very exciting, and certainly for those of you out there who are looking for something different. That just is the end of our cruise show, and I'd just like to thank the hundreds of you who have joined us over the last couple of days. I mean, I have really enjoyed. I have learned so much about cruising over this past 48 hours. It's just been great. And the amount of variety that we have, the different types of cruising, the offers that are on. I mean, there's certainly no better time to be looking at cruising and planning for the holidays to come, because as I keep saying, we all need something to look forward to. So what better way of getting through the winter than having a nice cruise to look forward to. Just a reminder that our offices are open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. now, Monday to Saturday, but of course we're contactable outside those hours by email. So thank you very much indeed for joining us, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.